Oh, I pushed it.
You literally pushed the pillow off.
I push it. I gotta get it. Oh, I gotta get it. Okay. Yay.
Right, so these people gonna think something wrong with us.
They are. Let's go ahead and pivot then. Let's go ahead and pivot.
Yeah, let's get back on track.
Okay,
Yeah, we gotta pivot. Yeah, all right.
Let's do this.
Baby, I know that you wanna be. Baby, I know that you wanna be. Baby, I know that you wanna be.
All right, welcome to You Better Talk About It. I'm your host, BP.
And I'm QG.
We about to get into, do we push or do we pivot?
What does that mean? What you mean by that?
I mean, I think sometimes, especially as an adult, we just stay in places that we just be there too long. We be dealing with things just too long. And sometimes we think that, if we just keep going, keep pushing, like it's going to work out or it's going to work in our favor, or if we just stay consistent, like everything's going to play out the way we want to. But sometimes in life, like, you really need to pivot.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, like, you hurting yourself.
For sure.
But a lot of people, they don't have discernment when choosing.
And we always talk about that discernment, right? We always be getting into that main piece. It's always the missing piece to the puzzle. It'd be discernment. So, okay, so what's some situations where you feel like people like stay too long?
See, I feel like I'm gonna offend somebody. The first example that came to my head.
Oh, we talking about relationship?
I mean, that's definitely one. I mean, friendships too.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
I'm going through that personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've learned that some of my friendships, like, I've definitely been pushing too long.
Mm-hmm.
Too long.
I mean, I went through that as well too, but not just with friends, it's also with a job.
Yeah.
Like, I was there for 7.5 years. You know, everybody talk about that 7-year itch. When it's time to either do something different or stay the same, like whatever it is. So, like, it can apply to a bunch of different things. So,
it's everything.
So many different things just popped in my head right then in that moment.
It's literally like, I mean, even when you eating food, right? Like, yeah, it might be good, but sometimes you need to pivot. Just stop. Stop eating, bro.
Put the fork down.
Literally. Like, just stop.
I had to tell myself that earlier. Because them nachos was just too good. It was just on point. You do what you know what you be doing with them nachos.
Shout out to the chef.
You know what she be doing with them nachos. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back into it, okay?
Yeah, so, it's like, it's in everything. Like, even when we talked about, in the previous episode, when we talked about making choices, it's one of those things that everything in life is either you pushing or you pivoting. Even when you get up in the morning and go to work or whatever you do, like, you can either push and keep going and get to it, or you can pivot. Now, pivoting it's not always positive. It's not always positive, but it is a change. So everything you do, just like a choice, I mean, everything. Friends, family, job, eating, fitness, breathing, listening to music, all of it. You choosing to either pivot or you choosing to push.
Now, when you think about pivot, right? And you think about changing the course, or like, do you think about it, or some situations it could cause for you pivoting into a completely different direction? Or is it sometimes like you can pivot into what you were previously doing before and going back? Have you been in a situation where you have to go back and rearrange some stuff? Go back to the drawing board almost?
Yeah. I mean, but that's a form of pivoting as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Because, like, sometimes we jump into things. We just jump. We don't think about it. We don't reflect. We don't see if it's in alignment with what we're trying to do. So sometimes we do. We got to jump back. Like, even, for example, a lot of entrepreneurs, when I work with them, they don't have a business one-pager. How are you an entrepreneur? You don't have a business one-pager. That's the name of your business, slogan, your logo, the mission, objectives, the vision, your short-term, long-term goals. Like, how do you not have that? That's why you confused. That's why you having trouble producing content. You don't know what you're doing, where you're going, what you're posting. So now you got to go back. You come to me, because I'm not just going to be like, all right, we just going to put some stuff out there. No, it got to make sense. It got to be a strategy. That's why you're not getting coins like you want to. So now with me, we going to pivot. We got to go back in order to make a big change. A positive change.
Yeah. And of course, I ain't in the business just yet. I'll be on my way very soon. Very, very sure.
Yeah, because that's how you hear.
Right. We ain't gonna state the obvious now. Like, we see that. We see that. But it's like I had to do that with like a relationship with like my sister.
Mm-hmm.
We had to pivot and we had to go back and say, okay, what did we miss?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is missing, or what wasn't done that needed to be done, or what wasn't addressed that needed to be addressed. So we had to go back. We had to say, okay, this is what happened this day, this time, at this moment. And it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
I think some people are afraid to do that when it comes to various situations where they're afraid to go back and just dissect what had happened or something that you might have missed. And that is something that people should practice often, honestly, because there's a lot of things that can be overlooked. And of course, because we're talking about pivoting and going backwards, because of course, pivot can be a bunch of different things, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
But I think people, like I said, people miss a point, and it was a very valid point, because that point might have been something for you to keep pushing.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just a bunch of different things just come to my head. Like, it's so many different ways.
Yeah. And it sucks, like, a lot of people go through this with friendships. Like, one thing that we love to talk about is how we've been friends with somebody since we was in the sandbox, right? But sometimes that friend has been hurting you, you know, in different ways. And I mean, I've had that. And I had to make a decision like, all right, I'm tired of this. I feel drained, you know, all the negative things. And when we talk about pushing and pivoting, it's also communication, just like you mentioned, that goes into that, right? So I had to figure out like, okay, am I just going to keep pushing through this friendship because we've been friends for so many years? Or am I going to make the change and finally speak up and call things out, you know, stand up for myself, say it with my chest? That's a decision too. Because often, like, especially for me, I'm a considerate person. Like, I'm not selfish, so I don't just be like, oh, it's about me getting the last word, saying what I got to say. Like, no, I'm thinking of the other person too, because when I'm opening myself up to you, it's not to hurt your feelings, but I have to state the facts. You know, and in order for things to get better, we got to talk about this. In order for things to pivot positively, we have to talk about this. Right? So it's like, it was a huge, like, all last year, I went through that. Like, am I going to just keep letting things go, or keep like talking to other people about it, but not talking to the source? And not talking as far as like, oh, I'm talking about these people behind their back. Like, no, I'm like just trying to release the frustration. So like now when I come to them, I don't have that energy. Yeah. But even then, all it does is build up. So it's like, no, I had to make a change. And I literally did that all last year. I had conversations with everybody that I considered a friend. Can't nobody say twice. I ain't just get one time, twice. Now, some of those, you know, it was a change, a positive change. No, some of them, after the conversation, I continued to push like, okay, like we working at it. I was listened to. And so since they listened to me, all right, let's keep going. Because in any relationship, sometimes you got to communicate. But as long as both parties are in, like to me, as long as we both are in it and we putting energy towards it, we giving effort, like, all right, I'm going to keep pushing. But now when I see I'm just being heard, which means like you heard what I said, but now you're getting defensive, or you want to get argumentative, or you want to lack accountability, or you want to just take what I said, put it in one ear and out the other, that's when it's time for me to pivot.
Period. And going, like, you had mentioned something, and it just put this thought into my head about pushing, right? Even if you keep pushing, that's just another way of just ignoring.
Yes.
Ignoring what is taking place. Because people say, like, oh, I'll just push through. I'm going to just push through this with this person. I'm going to just get through this with this person. It's just like, no, you just tolerating at that point. Yeah.
You settling.
You settling. Yeah, you settling at that point. It's like, wow, why? It's just not pushing. At that point, it's just ignoring, tolerating, settling, all of those things. And it's like it puts you in a place that's a stagnant place.
Yes. Yep.
And it's just like, that's very uncomfortable to be, no matter what it is with a job. Because I felt that with a couple of different jobs where I just felt like very stagnant because I'm just tolerating a lot of different things versus me trying to pivot into different things with that job. Because even pivoting at that job didn't work out sometimes. Yeah. So now at that point, it's just like, all right, now you got to make a decision. Do I go ahead, head out? pivot out, pivot away, do something completely different. And just going back to that, it's just pushing is just another way of just standing still.
But it's also pushing because that, like, you pushing negativity as well. Because if you know you're uncomfortable, you know you're settling, you know you're not happy, you know you just tolerating the situation, you pushing negativity. And you pushing stress on yourself, you pushing anxiety, you pushing resentment.
Resentment, that's a big one.
How many times we be in an argument, what's the first thing you hear? I knew I should have left. I knew I should have. Man, how many times do we hear that?
So many.
You pushing that too. That's what you pushing. When
we be pushing peace. Pushing peace. We ain't pushing P. We pushing peace.
Which P?
What about which P? Which P? Okay. We need to be pushing peace. Okay? That's what we really need to be doing.
Literally.
So, what are some things that people can do to recognize where you need to keep pushing or you have to pivot?
So we getting into the better.
I mean, I guess you can say that. I guess you can say that, yeah.
The art of pushing or pivoting. Because, I mean, that's what it is. It's an art. So how do we get better at that, right? Our favorite thing to say starts with self.
Of course. Of course.
Starts with self because you have to recognize. You have to recognize when you're at your limits because that's the art of it. When you talk about pivoting or you're talking about pushing, you're describing your limits. True. You're literally describing your limits. So you have to figure out when is enough enough. And you know, because the moment you start telling yourself like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Like when you keep telling, it's not. Because why you say repeating that?
You have to convince yourself.
Exactly. When you in that moment, when you trying to, I don't want to say find the silver lining, but making excuses. Because we do that too. We do that a lot. Well, this job is paying me a salary.
Yeah.
Well, he said, she said she loved me. Well, I've known this person for such and such years. Well, they had my back then, like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
You making excuses to that's not, we pushing excuses.
Yeah. I heard that so many different times about a job. Oh, paying what you wanted to pay.
Literally, like when you, or even when it comes to fitness, right? Like, I'm going to do it next. It's okay. I ate a salad today. Oh, I had an extra ounce of water. You pushing excuses now. So it's knowing your limits. You know, when enough is enough. Then I think it's addressing the situation, right? Absolutely. So what is it? What's the difficulty here? What's the problem? Because you got to identify that. Yeah. To know what direction to go. After you identify, next is now trying to solve the issue. So sometimes we go too big. We try to pivot too big. No, pivot is not a size. It can be small. So like, for example, if we want to use...
Pivot ain't a size. Remember that. Rewind that.
Pivoting is not a size. Right? Any progress is progress. So if we're talking about fitness and you like, okay, being in the gym 45 minutes is too much. All right, try 30 minutes. Try 30 minutes for a couple weeks. See how you feel. Build the momentum. Build pivoting. Then, or if it's talking to somebody, all right, have a conversation with that person, right? Like, can I use us as an example?
Sure. We are the examples. Sure.
So, for example, this is my girl. One thing used to get on my nerves.
I'm shaking in my boots. What you gonna say?
Every time she get a boyfriend, she goes. Every time. Every freaking time. You don't get no text. You don't get a call. You don't even give a wave down the damn hallway no more. She drop you.
Your girl be in love. Oh my God. Like, I be trying to be in love.
Then, when it's done, now she come back like...
Now I gotta pivot.
She just come back.
Pivot. You know, I gotta pivot at that point. And I'm like, hey, girl, hey. I know you missed
She be pivoting like it ain't happening. I'm just like, look, we ain't about to keep repeating this cycle.
No. We're not going to keep pushing that forward. We're going to do something a little bit different. But
exactly.
No, I get what you're
saying. We had a conversation, you know, and that was the next step. We talked about it. We had, our solution. All right, cool. Now, luckily it was easy for us, but in other situations where it might not be that easy, then I would, in speaking from experience, then I try to present it in another way. Mm-hmm. And not being petty. I'm not talking about that. Like, well, two could play that game or go tit for tat. No, just breaking it down.
We're not childish.
Right. Okay. Or when it happens again, I've done that too. Now I pull that person to the side. Mm-hmm. Hey, we need to talk. Because a lot of times when we start having these conversations, it's build up. So now it just happened. Now we here. You just gave me another example of what I've been trying to communicate to you. Mm-hmm. After that, now it's distance. Because sometimes people, you got to pivot away from that person for them to respect you. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes when you just constantly there, when people are used to just, whatever. When I call, they gonna answer. When I pull up, I'm always welcome. Sometimes people got to, in order to respect you, you got to be absent for a little bit. I've learned that too. You got to be absent. You got to stop. You got to stop them text messages. Stop answering. Stop waiting that phone call.
For real.
Like sometimes you got to do that for people to get it.
Yeah, unfortunately it is like that. But, I'm like Kanye. What do you say? You never really know what you get till it's gone. Yeah. I know what I got. I don't know what y'all on. I ain't trying to hear none of that. I really ain't. You got to see. But no, it go for that for a lot of people in the world.
And after that, then you just got to let go. Yeah. Because there's no need to keep pushing. That's about 4 or 5 steps that I just said. And that's it. That's it. And it may hurt.
We gonna say, of course, y'all done heard that a lot already by now too. It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna,
all of these things that makes you better is going to hurt. It's for the better, obviously.
Like sometimes you gotta experience pain to progress. That's literally what it is. You have to experience pain in order to progress.
You gotta experience pain to progress and pivot or keep pushing. All these P's.
I mean, pushing P. So yeah, and then sometimes you just gotta let go and you just gotta pivot. Mm. And pivoting in that retrospect is, hey, maybe you starting to treat other people the same way you being treated, because a lot of people tend to do that too. Mm. It's a ripple effect. It's a chain reaction. So maybe you need to spend time with the people that now you've been putting on the back burner because you've been so busy pushing negativity. Mm.
Paying attention and pivoting to the people that you had let fall by the wayside.
I've done that too. I got they actually make an effort, and I'm paying attention to the people that's not. I have done that several times, unfortunately.
Yeah, it be like that because those are the people that you feel like they were supposed to always just be there.
Yep.
Because how long have y'all been together? Exactly. How long y'all have shared a lot of things with each other? But you got to take the attention away from them and pivot to the people that could actually bring value to you. Yeah.
Another way of getting better is boundaries, because that's boundaries too. You got to know your boundaries. You got to set them. You got to execute them.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great conversation about pushing versus pivoting. This is something I haven't even actually thought about myself, because there is a stigma behind pushing. Mm-hmm. Like they think that just builds resilience. It just builds strength.
Yep.
And actually it does the opposite in a lot of situations. In a bunch of different situations.
Yeah, some of y'all, I'm gonna just be real. Y'all partners. Come on. It's a limit to that too.
I'm just gonna rub this pillow up. I ain't gonna say too much about that part.
But it's real talk. Mm-hmm. Like I saw a post on Facebook a little while ago. One person was like, I'll never understand a person who swear they hate the parent of their child, but then they have another child with them. And I was like, I don't be getting that either. But some people, and unfortunately I know some people that's been in that situation, and it's like they steady pushing for whatever vision they have in their head. Mm-hmm. I know this woman gonna be the queen that I want her to be. I know this man gonna be the king that I want him to be. But it's like they have not shown you.
They pushing because they just see potential. That's it. The potential.
But once again, now this is when boundaries got to kick in. Mm-hmm. If you've been dealing with this person for 5 years, come on, that's a nice amount of time. That's a nice amount of time for a lot of pivoting
60 months.
to take place, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, you got to step back, especially if it's not growing, if there's no progression. Like I know people that's been in relationships, unfortunately, that like they've lost their jobs because of different things going on. They have got kicked out of their religion. I even know a person that, I don't know, just turned into a whole nother person I didn't even recognize, like to the point that he started putting his hands on his girl. I'm like, you was the peacemaker and everything. What we doing?
No.
But steady pushing to be with this person, but this person is changing you into something that's bringing you down.
Yeah. And I think another part of that being better is like you gotta be okay with having to move forward, or not having to move forward, having to pivot away from it. You have to be okay with it. You have to come to terms with it. Like we always say, it's not going to be easy, but you have to come to terms with it for sure.
Yeah.
Because if it's a situation like that, and you're an unrecognizable person, it could be, like I say, a relationship, a job, even in a hobby. Even in a hobby. It can apply to so many different things and scenarios. It's just, I almost got kind of sad a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean, but that's the severity of what we talking about, pushing and pivoting.
It's very, very, very important.
Like, I'm not saying, like this person, like prime example, the biggest battle, Insecure, with Lawrence and Issa. When they kept talking about, Issa waited long enough and he wasn't, he was just on the couch. He wasn't reaching his potential, this, that, and the other. That's different. From now, like, you literally turn into a complete different person. Right? And even if your partner's okay with that, it's not okay. Because like we said earlier, it starts with self. And if you know that's not the person you want to be, why are you allowing this relationship to turn you into something that you don't want to be? You can't even recognize yourself when you look in the mirror.
Then at that point, you got to pivot. You have no choice but to pivot.
Yeah. And use your resources, right? Like, other friends that you may know. Because like you said earlier, it's going to hurt. It's going to be hard. But you will overcome it. That's pivoting. That's a part of that. So now, lean on some other people. Hey, I need a minute. I need to talk. I need to vent. Hey, I need whatever support that you need. Come take a walk with me. Hey, I found this, whatever, group therapy. Right? Like, do that. Do that to pivot into something better.
Absolutely. And as soon as you pivot, here come a bunch of people that's going to start pushing for you, with you, right next to you. And y'all moving forward with each other.
Yeah.
Like you said, and that's a great feeling.
Yeah, because you're going to track better at that point. Like, it's just that simple. Like, and I experienced that too. Because at one point, I'm like, why does this keep happening? Why am I attracting this? Why am I going through that? All right, let me clean slate on everything. Let me shut it down. Let me stop talking to people for 6 months. Let me get back into some program that helps me invest into myself, increase my knowledge, because I need to change my focus. Because clearly I'm focusing on the wrong things. Because we do that too. Right? That was my pivot. And now I'm starting to attract more of what I want, to the point that you look back and I'm like, that's what I was dealing with that. That's what I was doing.
Right.
Like, whoo, I ain't going back to that.
Right, okay. I'm not pivoting back to that one.
No.
That's the only time I ain't gonna pivot back nowhere.
Literally.
If it's back there, we ain't got nothing.
The only time I'm going back is when I'm driving in reverse. That's it.
Period.
That's
Clock
it.
that one. Clock that one
That's
right there.
it.
That was a word. That was a word.
Only time I'm going back is when I'm driving in reverse.
And on that note, you know what I want y'all to do? In those comments, you don't have to get too deep. You don't have to share nothing too personal. But identify a time where you had to be honest with yourself and say, okay, I keep pushing for the wrong thing. And what made you pivot? And the resources or the tools that you had used, you can share those as well too. Put that in the comment section. Because we here to hear the stories, and that story can inspire someone else, influence someone else.
And we're going to celebrate you.
Always.
We're going to celebrate you.
I'm preaching, you heard that multiple times by now. This is all here to celebrate.
Yeah.
This is not to put down.
Yeah, no. Because those are the wins. That's another thing as an adult too. We too busy. We need a big award. No, that's an award too. Celebrate that.
Absolutely.
As an adult, like, average, right? We only celebrate when somebody get married, when someone have a kid, when someone retire. No, we need to celebrate when you pivot. We celebrate that over here. So we need y'all to drop that. We need you to drop that in those comments. We need you to engage so we can clap for you. We can celebrate for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't you forget to also like, subscribe, and share. And where can they find us at?
On Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
And what's the at?
You better talk about it.
Till next time, y'all.